Which IMO or agency should you choose when you become an insurance agent? Let's dive deep into this. There are going to be three things that we're going to be talking about today. Number one, the two types of IMOs or agencies that are out there for you to be able to choose from. Number two, the different level of support that you're going to need for growth, so that when you're interviewing IMOs or agencies, or one that you plan to switch into, what to look for. And number three, do you even need an IMO or agency when it comes to starting your insurance business? Let's dive deep into all three of those, starting with number one. Number one is which IMO should I choose? The two types of IMOs or agencies. Okay, so there are two, in my opinion, is the writing model, and then you have the building model, right? So your writing model, as an example, is like your FFL. And by the way, I have no association to any of the organizations that I'm speaking of. I'm just giving you an example so you can understand the type of models and be able to use that in your decision making. So I'm not telling you to go to any of these organizations. I'm not associated to them. Number one is a writing model. As an example, it would be more of like a company like FFL, Family First Life. They are more focused in on writing insurance business, right? And these are typically higher contracts. So you might have for example, a 90 to 100% contract straight out the gate when you start writing business. Meaning that if you were to write an IUL for $3,000, assuming that the target premium is $3,000, then you'll get advanced. You'll get advanced up to 75% of that $3,000 contract, and you'll earn a 100% commission. Backtrack a little bit. This isn't a video for that, but if you got confused on what I mean by that, if your target premium is $3,000, then they normally advance you 75%. So if you have a 100% contract, you'll earn the full $3,000. 75% of that on the advance means that you're going to receive $2,250. In theory, that's how that would work if you had a 100% contract. Same as if your contract is 110, 120, etc. So they typically have higher contracts. The second one is they have faster writing carriers. Now this is important because if you plan to write a lot of business, you cannot deal with old archaic insurance carriers, the ones who don't have instant decision, meaning like you write business, everything goes into underwriting, and then it takes 7 days in underwriting before they approve it, and then once it's approved, they take 7 more days to pay you. That's not it. If you're going to be a writer, you need faster writing carriers, ones that are going to most likely approve the case as soon as you hit submit, and then you get paid within 2 to 3 days after you've submitted that business and it's already been approved. That's what you're looking for if you're going to be a writing agent. So it's very, very important that they have faster writing carriers. And last but not least, they have a heavy lead vendor relationships and resources. So a lot of these writing agent IMO and agencies, they're going to sell you on lead vendors, buying leads, etc., because that's the way to write. So if you're going to be writing business, you need business. You need people to talk to. Unless you have a major network of people that you can keep pulling from every day, then you're going to need some type of lead vendor, and they have the resources available. And then you have your second type of IMO or agency, which is your builder model. Now, this example would be like your WFG, your PHPs, or now your GFIs. They have a builder model. So with these builder models, they're typically lower writing contracts, right? Because it's not based on writing a total writing of business. It's based on building your business when it comes to recruiting other agents into the opportunity, right? So typically the contracts for you writing on your personal pen is lower because you're going to earn more from the building of your business, from the downline generation. So you recruit an agent, and then that agent recruits an agent, and then that agent recruits an agent. You're earning commission every time each of those agents and multiple downlines are writing business. You're getting an override all the way up at the top, which is why your writing contract is lower, because the contract has to be structured to where it can basically pay commission all the way down to the bottom, and you're earning an override all the way up to the top. So typically, if you're looking to be more of a recruiter than a writer, then you're looking for more of a builder model, but it does come with a lower writing contract for you. And these builder models typically have slower writing carriers because again, they're not necessarily heavily built upon writing a ton of business with a ton of churn and like churn meaning chargebacks. They're not into that kind of stuff. So this is typically slower writing carriers. It's going to go into underwriting. It's going to be more of a slower archaic process. Then it's going to be a 7-day process to get approved, etc. So you should be expecting that because it's a builder model. And then lastly, they have a very robust recruiting process because again, the builder model is built off of recruiting. So you can expect that they have every resource in the world when it comes to helping you to recruit more people into the opportunity, from presentations, backdrops, brochures, events, conferences, like opportunity event, like everything under the sun, they dominate in that area to help you to be able to build your business and recruit more agents. So those are the two types of IMOs. So you have to understand, I would say to start, what your goal is when it comes to being an insurance agent. A lot of people don't think about that. Somebody came to you and they presented you with the opportunity to become an agent, and you probably got pushed into either one of these models, but you didn't really give thought now into what is your goal though. And by the way, your goal can change. So if your goal changes where you don't want to be a builder anymore, you want to be a writer, you got to understand that those are two different things, right? And each one specializes in one thing. And by the way, just because it's a writing model, that doesn't mean that they don't recruit. So as an example, although I said that FFL is more of a writing model, there's still agents and agency owners that have built very big businesses and they sold those businesses off. But like I said, it's more leaning towards writing while building. And then even with the builder model, it doesn't mean that there are not agents that are in the building model that are writing a lot of business. It's just typically a better builder model than is a writer model, right? So like you got to understand what percentage are you more so leaning into when it comes to your growth and development as an agent. So that brings me to my next point, which is number 2, the different level of support that you're going to need. So this is the second thing you want to think about when you're recruiting and when you're interviewing an IMO or an agency, right? Like, what are the different level of supports you need? So the first one is, do you need lead support? So like when it comes to lead support, then you're probably going to want to go into a writing model because they're going to have a ton of different lead support. They know a ton of lead vendors. Your upline probably sells leads. Your IMO probably sells leads, and they have relationships with so many other lead vendors that if you ever needed lead support, they got it available for you. A ton of them. A ton. Now, the second level of support, do you need sales support? Well, I would say that's typically going to be more towards a writing model, again, because if they have lead support, they definitely most likely have sales support. Why? Because they're on the phones all the time. They're selling and writing business all the time. So they're going to have sales scripts. They're going to have secrets. They're going to have tricks. They're going to have sales leaders that will tell you how to sell insurance, and they're the best in the game. They know how to do age leads, fresh leads, everything that you can think of. They're the best closers in the game. I will tell you that just bringing back like FFL for a second, some of the best closers I've ever met have come from FFL. But there's a reason why. Those guys write a lot of business. So the more business that you write, the more times you get hung up on, the more times somebody tells you no, you're typically just going to be better than everybody else in the market. So I believe, in my opinion, that they're the best writers in the market. They're the best sales guys when it comes to insurance in the market. So again, if you need lead support or sales support, you need to find an IMO or agency that gives you that ability. Do you need recruitment support? See, now when it comes to that, you're going to have to choose the builder model for recruitment support because, in my opinion, I've met a lot of PHP, WFG, Primerica, GFI. Like I met guys that are in those agencies and IMOs. They know how to recruit, and they taught me some things, right, around how to recruit, the ways to network, like much better than me when it comes to that. And I think they're the best in the game. So again, if you need recruitment support, you're going to have to go towards a builder model. And lastly, do you need team/leadership support for personal development? This is more of an off-put one where you might be an agent that's like, hey, Don, I kind of want a little bit of lead sales support. I kind of want a little, recruitment support. But like, I ultimately want to be a part of a company that like, man, they have a great leadership team. I can go to conferences. I want support. I want development. Like, I want to be a part of like, I want to be a part of something that's bigger than me, right? Like a cause, And I think that one you're going to have to look for a company that has a really great culture, right? Like great culture that you're looking for. Like every IMO agency has a different type of culture. It might have an aggressive sales culture. It might have aggressive lead culture. It might have a leaderboard type of culture based off of the amount of business that you write. And if you don't write a lot of business, nobody's going to talk to you. Same when it comes to recruitment. Or it could just be a personal development culture where like it's not like too much writing. It's not too much recruiting. It's more of like, hey, we're here to develop and build a business, and at the same time, of writing and recruiting, we're going to teach you how to be a great person. And if you want something like that, you're going to have to, obviously research and find that. So again, it's all based upon your goals, and there's different levels of support needed for that growth based on what it is that you're looking for. So these are just things that you should be thinking about as an agent. And that brings me to my final point is, do I even need an IMO? Now, this is for my more experienced guys who are like, you're at this stage of like, Don, do I need an IMO? Short answer is yes, but. So I'll get to the but in a second. Here's the short answer. Yes. The reason why you typically need an IMO, and sometimes they're called IMOs, other times they're called FMOs, like they're called all types of stuff, the three letter words. And I'm sorry, the three letters. The reason why you're going to need some type of IMO is because of the fact that I'll tell you a story. When I tried to get into the insurance space after I left Wells Fargo and TD Bank, I wanted to start my own agency. So I ended up calling, I think Prudential. I called them on the phone because I was selling Prudential at the bank. So I said, you know what? Let me just get my own contract. Since I started my own agency, I called them and they said, hey, yeah, man, unfortunately, we don't take on any contracts with independent agents. You're going to have to go to one of the bigger people that we already work with, and you're going to have to get a contract from them. I called like 15, 20 different insurance carriers, some of the top ones. Like, of course, you could go to like smaller ones and they might give you an independent contract, but the top ones have the best technology, the best contracts, everything. And if you want the best, they're all going to tell you one thing: we don't bring on independent agents. They just don't do it. So the short answer is yes. The insurance space is structured in a way where you're going to need to go under some other type of leadership, but there's a reason for that. From what I found, the reason for that is because of the fact that they want to make sure, aside from politics, which I won't get into, they want to ensure that if you write business and your business gets charged back and you don't pay back the chargebacks, that can roll up to somebody because they advanced you, the insurance company advanced you money. You might say, you know what, I'm out of here. They need to make sure that rolls up to somebody that's responsible. So that's the reason why they're sticking you under a much larger organization for risk management purposes. Okay, so that's the reason why you can't get independent contracts. So short answer is yes, but the but is I ended up finding an amazing guy when I came into the space, and a mentor of mine, and we sat down for lunch. And he said, Don, here's, this is actually one of the companies he's the guy that was recommended by one of the insurance carriers that I called. That's how I met him, which is crazy. Called the insurance carrier. They said, yeah, you should go to this guy right here. He's a really great guy. He's like a couple miles away from you. I said, cool, I'll call him. Called him up. We sat down for lunch. As soon as we sat down, he said, Don, look, here's the max insurance contract that I have for every, and he gave me a list of like 20 different insurance carriers and said, here's the max contract that I have for all of these carriers. And he had it in a binder. This is how much I receive. Now, out of that, here's the contract that I'm going to give you, and here's how much I earn in between. So he basically told me how much he was going to earn off of every contract and how much he was going to give me on that. And he showed me the max contract on all levels. When I saw that, I said, man, this guy is legit. He's honest. He's telling me how much he's going to earn off of all of my production. And I said, I'm going to go with this guy. And over the last few years, me and him have been working together. Now, here's the thing about that. The reason why I say but is because, like, I'm not a part of any of the shenanigans that comes with having an IMO. I've never gone to a conference. In fact, the guy that ended up giving me the contracts, I only speak to him maybe twice or three times a year. So I'm basically independent in a way with max contracts, independent. I run my own show the way that I needed to, but I had to go through that guy because of the fact that no insurance carrier would give me a direct one-on-one contract. But he left me alone, allowed me to run it the way I wanted to run it, and if I ever needed any support, I would just reach out to him. He earns a small percentage off of the top, but my contract is like maxed up all the way to the top on the insurance side. So for the individuals that are like, I don't want to be a part of like any IMO. I don't want to be a part of their cultures. I just want to build an insurance business and mind my business. You're like me, right? And if that's the case, then you're probably looking for somebody that can just present you with a beautiful contracts, beautiful carriers, and you just run your own show. Now, the trade-off that comes with you running your own show, though, is that you're going to have to do a lot of this, everything yourself. The beauty of an IMO is that they're going to provide you with all of the resources like we talked about here in this video. But if you do it yourself, you're going to have to figure it out. Like I built all of my own sales scripts. I built all of my own like recruitment strategies. I built my own CRM systems. I built my own agent training, onboarding. Like I did all of those things by myself, but I'm very entrepreneurial based. So I was okay with that. So you just got to understand that if you take the route that I took, you better be extremely good at knowing how to pivot and build things out and do all of that stuff yourself, you know? So that's what I say as far as like which IMO you should choose, the two types of IMOs or agencies that are out there, the different levels of support needed for growth that you should be thinking about when interviewing IMOs or agencies. And then if you even need an IMO and you decide to take the route that I took when it comes to just like being very interdependent in that process. With that said, my name is Donna. If you found this video valuable, share this with another agent that you know or somebody interested in becoming in the industry. And if you want more free value like this, click the link below. You can join the Telegram chat that I have with over 1,000 agents. We provide just a lot of free value and gems on different carriers, etc., to be able to allow you to grow as an insurance agent. All right, talk soon. Peace.